Tell me your name, what you were doing in Iraq, your unit, what your role was.
Matt Davis, United States Marine Corps. The unit was 1st Light Armored Reconnaissance Battalion. I was a scout with that unit. We're doing anti-terrorism, just operations in Iraq. We had huge areas of overwatch to do, just doing patrols to the desert, and just like preventing any kind of enemy movement, clear villages, set up vehicle checkpoints, do night operations. Day, we're always operating. It was nonstop. So the LAV vehicles have 3 crewmen, a driver, a gunner, and the vehicle commander, and 4 scouts, team leader, machine gunner, point man, like a grenader, stuff like that. We would take tactical pauses, you know what I mean? I'm waiting for more orders, so we'd set up in coils, which is like a 360-degree security. There's 4 LAVs, which is 2 sections, Alpha and Bravo.
What's an LAV, by the way?
It's a light armored vehicle. It's got a 25 millimeter Bushmaster cannon, 240 Bravo machine gun on top with the 240 coax. And at all times, there's 2 scouts popped up in the rear. We do area route, zone reconnaissance, and just operations, So if we need to get somewhere fast, we have those vehicles. We assess scouts. We can dismount, clear sections, use the vehicles for overwatch, go and do assaults, on buildings or just clear areas, just all that type of stuff.
And what's the video you sent me?
So me taking myself back this particular evening, maybe 100 miles from the Syrian border, we set up a coil, which is a 360-degree security. And basically I was looking at the thermals and the gunner's seat. I'm just doing my observation in the desert, just kind of scanning back and forth, making sure nobody's going to sneak up on us. I can pop up for a minute out of the turret, come back down and look to these thermals. I remember seeing something. I didn't laze it to see the exact how many meters it was away, but just me observing it, I'm going to say it's probably about 200 meters. I kind of see something raise up, an object kind of come off the floor from that distance. And I was like, well, what is that? And I was talking to myself, and I would probably say it went about 25 meters off the ground. And I seen it sway to the left, stop, and then sway back to the right. Maybe within from that center point that it raised up to that 25 meters, 20 meters, it swayed about 30 to 50 meters to the left. And then coming back to that center point it originally raised up from, it went another 30 to the right and came back and started elevating upward. And I was like, this is weird. What the hell is this? I grabbed my camera. I had a little black Pelican case, popped it open, and it started filming. So I was looking through my camera screen and seen it raise up and keep continually raising. And on that thermal with the reticle, there's a little center dot, which is like your center visual. So I seen it raise up and I was following it with the turret, just raising the turret up as so the barrel's going to go up with it. I could tell it wasn't a plane or a helicopter. It was kind of a consistent speed shooting upward, not super fast, but it was just almost kind of like a floating object. And it just, there was nothing out in that area that we would have been operating. If there was, we would have known about it. Definitely the enemy didn't have any kind of helicopters or anything, or any helos or aircraft. I knew it was 100% worthy of filming a video. I was like, I knew it was something out of the ordinary. So I filmed it. As I was filming, I was like, oh, this has this shape. I wasn't thinking that. I was like, oh, this is just a strange object I'm seeing come off the ground and, swayed to the left, to the right, and then went upward and kind of didn't go straight up, but it kind of veered a little bit and kind of, almost like a back and forth motion. It just kept kind of going up. And I went so high up, I was like, dude, somebody's going to see this barrel pointing straight up in the air. And what the hell is this guy doing? I knew it wasn't right. And what I really should have did was hey, you guys, I saw something right now. It's coming off the desert floor, going upward. And I wish I continued to film it. To be honest, Jeremy, I wish I kept going, but I was like, man, I got to stop.
You look at this thing. It doesn't have rotors. It doesn't have a tail. It's symmetrical looking. It doesn't have rotor wash. You weren't seeing any of that. The shape is fucking weird.
Almost like a dish looking thing with something kind of slightly protruding out of that top, maybe.
Everything you knew about that area made that object ridiculous.
100%. The way it came off the ground, I was like, man, I'm grabbing my camera, filming this.
When you see it go up and you stop filming, did it just continue going up, or did you see what happened after you stopped aiming the barrel at it, or are you just like, I got to stop?
I got to stop, and I didn't see anything. I don't know where it went. I don't know if it continued or stopped or went somewhere else, but
You're in an active combat zone. Is this correct?
that's correct.
You're estimating things 200 meters away. You should have known if something was out there, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you would know if something was a craft of that size at 200 meters away. Like, you would be aware if it's our government launching it. Like, you'd be aware if there was enemies 200 meters away, right?
100%. I only watch. You know, I'm a scout. I'm using that as like a giant scope to like catch everything. That is the best way to spot any kind of enemy. There's still no heat. It ticks up. You know, if there's like some guy like trying to hide out there, you're gonna spot it. You know, and there's different. You can adjust the reticle. There's the thermal. I mean, you're gonna be able to spot anything you need to.
So you're in this light armored vehicle. You're on watch. And this is like a gun that's like mounted like a turret gun that's kind of mounted that has this optics weapon system like built into it. And that's why we're seeing it green, like infrared, or what?
Correct.
And if you were kind of like the main operator of that, you could have switched through all the different modes. That's not really your job, but you were kind of like, hey, what the fuck? And you're looking out.
Yep.
So was it like much clearer when you're looking at it through the weapon system? Like, could you see the edges of the object you're seeing more clearly, or is it basically what we're seeing there?
A little bit clearer. I was kind of shaky with it. I was trying my best to hold it steady because the turret was like in a manual mode where you have to like turn the turret by turning these like almost like wheels inside.
You're using what we see as like normal people, we see, oh, it's like a green screen, but that's infrared, right? So that's a form of amplified light. And you're watching through this, and then you notice this thing that you suppose is about 200 meters away, approximately, and you see it swaying. And the swaying, that made you realize, hey, this is different.
Well, first of all, it's like, why would something be directly, there's no, like, we had no, something, that would not be possible for something like if we're operating out there, we had other, troops. What would they be doing? Okay, so if it was a Huey or some kind of helo, a rotor wing, it was laying out there, I would be seeing like dust kicked up, static off the rotors. I would know that something's out there. You would hear a sound. It didn't make any sense. I was like, what the hell is that? Like, that's exactly, I remember thinking like, what the hell is that?
You should have seen something like rotor wash. You should have heard it, and you don't. I know we're just completely guessing, right, on fucking size. If you had to estimate about the size,
like I would say it was kind of a large thing, whatever it was, like kind of a larger, but not massive, like I'll say 25 feet, like across, I don't know, that's a guess, maybe from the top to the bottom, maybe 15 feet, something like that.
What's so interesting to me, though, is the shape. It looks eerily like the Gimbal UFO that has been all over the news.
I've seen those videos, and that looks pretty similar. Wow.
Yeah, man. If you put them like side by side, it's eerie. What I'm wondering is, I know that the footage of the gimbal was a thermal camera. It was a FLIR pod, forward-looking infrared, which is more of a authentic thermal signature, where the green infrared is photons of light. So you kind of see the shape in the green, because with the thermal, it could have like an exhaust jet, and that exhaust. Yeah. So I'm looking back at your green video, and I'm thinking the shape you see is probably the shape of the object. Do you agree with that? Is that accurate? Am I missing something?
I would have to agree with what you just said. I mean, I kind of wish I could have changed like to a thermal and like switch back, and I can't 100% confirm what that thing was, but I just know I knew it wasn't something normal. That's what made me, I was like, dude, what is this thing? I grabbed it and I was like, man, I got to film this. And it never happened in between then or after. I believe that it was like some kind of craft. I'll just word it like that. I don't even know how else to say it. It's something different, that's for sure.